You're watching Metallica Mania, and if you see by the title of this video, I'm reviewing the brand new Exodus album, Persona Non Grata. I think that's how you say it. Probably didn't say it right. But, yep, Exodus is back. I was wondering when they were going to release an album because Gary Holt was off with Slayer, and yeah, I could say, for me, personally, I'm a way bigger Exodus fan than Slayer. Slayer is probably my favorite one of the big four, but Exodus is one of the best thrash bands ever. And yeah, they just released this album. It is 1 hour of just complete and utter mayhem. Like, 1 hour of complete utter mayhem, no downtime whatsoever, just thrashy riffs all the way through the album. And yeah, it's slowly becoming one of my favorite Exodus albums ever released. I know a lot of people are saying this album is not as good as some of the classic ones like Fabulous Disaster and Bonded by Blood, but I can say, in my opinion, it's along the lines of those albums with how good this album is. Yeah, my favorite songs on here is Slipping Into Madness, probably my favorite one on here, Slipping Into Madness. It's definitely got a good sound to it. Prescribing Horror, more of a slower, grimier Exodus album that still has those thrashy, brain-melting riffs that you would want from Exodus. The Beatings Will Continue Until Morale Improves, one of the singles, amazing fucking song, crazy, all-around amazing shit. I think this album is one of the greatest fucking albums ever released, and gotta take a drink to clear my throat. Yeah, stuff like songs like Clickbait. Clickbait is the one single that kind of got me really hyped for this album. I was like, The Beatings Will Continue, first release, was for me originally. Now I really dig that song, and we'll go back to it quite often. But yeah, Clickbait is just fucking awesome all the way through this. It's just a blistering fast song that has Steve's vocals that would be, I would say, reminiscent of Fabulous Disaster and how the song is structured. Lunatic Liar Lord, another fucking awesome song on this album. It's farther down. It's definitely got those thrashy hooks and thrashy riffs that melt your brain. Persona Non Grata, the first fucking song on the album, it just hooks you immediately. This song just grabs you and will hook you for the hour long. And like, you're like, when is this album gonna end halfway through it? But that doesn't mean it's bad all the way through. It just means that you're kind of like, okay, I've had enough, but Exodus is saying, no, you haven't had enough, and you're still going to get more. And you're kind of along for the ride for the whole album, and you really never lose interest in it. Like a lot of the really longer albums in metal. I think this album was done quite properly for a really long album. A lot of albums that go for more than like 30 or 40 minutes kind of get boring after a while. Look at Iron Maiden, for example. A lot of their newer stuff is very, very boring after a while. This is reminiscent, this album is kind of reminiscent of what Opeth would put out back when they were still doing that progressive death metal band with their albums, and how they would be really long and very interesting for all that time. So yeah, songs like Elitist, for example. That song is really slow. Is a slow album, slow song, but it still melts your brain going through. What is it? So REMF, I think it is, or REMS. That song is really good, and also a really slow song. That's the second song in the album, and it's slow. It's kind of a mix between, the slow songs are still really brain-melting and still really in-your-face fast. I think this album, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with it at all. and it's up there with the best of Exodus albums, like Tempo of the Damned, a lot of the Exhibition A, Exhibition B, and Bonded by Blood, and Fabulous Disaster. So, yeah, that's where I'm going to end this album review. Had a little bit more fun on this album review, and listened to this album way more than I would just 2 listens like I usually do. This is more of like a 4 listen, 5 listen. Found myself listening to this way more because I was way more interested in this album. It was over a few months of just listening to it on Spotify, and finally got a CD copy and listened to it. So, yeah, that's what I think of Exodus's Persona Non Grata. I think this album is fantastic and is slowly becoming one of my favorite Exodus albums, and it was worth the wait of since 2014. I definitely think this was better than the last Slayer album that Slayer did. A lot better than what Slayer did. So if you guys like the video, like it, subscribe, check out my TikTok. I sometimes do a lot of TikTok stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay metal. Did that wrong. Oh well.